Hi everybody, it's Audrey and welcome back to Chapter Ink and Verse, and welcome to a bit of a reflective look back at 2023 and the year that was. So I pulled a couple little statistics about 2023 and jotted down a couple of ideas, but I'm basically going to do this a little bit off the cuff. So I am going to do a goals video for 2024 and just some ideas and stuff, but I do very much enjoy, as much as I love me a clean slate, I also like looking back on the year that was and hopefully can learn a thing or two. And also, I don't do a really good job of taking the wins where they are. So I am definitely someone who is super hard on herself and always has been. And I don't always see the victories in the moments, and victories don't have to be big things. But I feel like this year in particular, so much of this year, I feel like I was just on autopilot. There were so many different things going on. I had so many like unexpected ups and downs. I had some really great moments. There were some real low moments. And I don't think I did a really good job of paying attention to like so many things while they were happening. And I also did a spectacular job of being last minute, behind, missing things, not executing on ideas that I had. And this is not like a boohoo kind of a video, but I'm trying to be honest with myself. And there's things that I just want to change and do better. So anyway, we're going to talk about some 2024 stuff in a separate video. Today we're here to talk about 2023. And the first thing I want to talk about is all of you guys. So you guys are amazing. I don't know if you know that. I feel like you know that. You have to know that. But everyone who turns up to every video, who likes it, who comments, who shares, who maybe tells a friend, who reaches out to me individually, and not that you have to do that, but like to everyone who has been a part of this universe, I'm just so super grateful for all of you guys. And I want to say like mid-year-ish, sometime in the summer, I passed 6,000 subscribers, which was absolutely incredible. And I was just looking today because I was uploading a video. What else would I be doing? And I passed 6,500 subscribers, which is crazy to me. And I'm just so grateful for everybody. And you are just the kindest, sweetest, most supportive, wonderful people. And I am sure I am not alone in this, but there is nothing better, especially on a day when things are just not feeling so great, to be able to just see a warm comment or see a heart or see a thumbs up or just see something positive. And I'm just so super grateful for all of you guys. And this started out, if you guys know, as just like a creative outlet for me in all of its awkward glory, which is not to say it doesn't sometimes still get awkward, but I've just had so much more fun with this than I ever possibly imagined. I've met so many incredible people. And anyway, a lot of this culminated in 2023. And I struggled at times to stay consistent. I started a new job back in March, which definitely threw my game off. And I had several false starts with getting back into my writing. I was doing real well when the year started, and then it kind of petered off. Part of that was like the new job. Like I was trying to do too many things. And then I definitely just let myself be a slacker, but I picked up momentum again, but trying to balance one of the loves of my life, which is writing, and wanting to finish this book, which I did have a stretch goal for the end of the year, which I'm not going to hit, which I didn't think I would hit. And I don't want to write just to write. Like I'm in a second draft, so this is not like purge it all out kind of a mode, but trying to balance the time writing with the time creating content, which takes a lot more time than just anyway. So where was I going with that? I have absolutely no idea. Did not do a great job being consistent all this year. So I think I did some good stuff. I put out 83 videos so far. So there's at least, I want to say one more maybe coming before the end of the year. A lot of my new year content, that doesn't make any sense. A lot of my 2023 year-end content will start to come out in the beginning of January in a burst. So you've been warned. But anyway, it still feels great. Still feels great to put that many videos out. But I definitely took the pressure off of myself to just put out a video just to put out a video. So what I'm trying to do, and this is going to blend a little bit with a goal, but is to do at least one video a week next year. And my focus is definitely going to be on writing. That is definitely my top priority, but I'm always going to read, and I'm always going to want to scream about the books that I'm reading. So I just can't quit you guys. I'm not going anywhere, but that is my goal that I'm trying to keep to myself. Or a promise I'm trying to keep to myself. So anyway, that was fantastic. And we, because you guys are in this with me, we did 2 more rounds of Book to Wrote Bingo, which is still so freaking fun. I also feel like the universe being the universe, I launched Springo in March when spring happens, which coincided with starting the new job. And it's been a few years since I started a new job, and I sort of blanked on how much that impacts your life. So was not my finest hour of keeping up on stuff. And then of course I did like the year-end bingo, which was also tremendous fun, but then I started to write and I feel like I just slacked off in some places. But I had so much fun creating the board. I had so much fun filling out my own board. I did it down to the wire. I read my last book on the 29th because I wanted to just have all different books on there. But seeing your posts on Instagram, being tagged in them was so much fun. Seeing what you guys read. And I definitely, because again, I feel like the universe works in ways. A lot of you guys had books in your board where I was like, oh, I want to read that one, or oh, that's on my list too. And I started to get the FOMO. So, you know, I don't make a physical reading plan for the year to come, but between what I saw on people's bingo boards and people's year-end videos, I already have more books than I can even possibly imagine to read for next year. So there's that. I did read 120 books this year, which is crazy to me. I have never read that many books. I do not have the breakdown of like audio versus physical. I'll pop that stat up here for you guys. I did not figure out that math. And then I need to double check my exact math. Anyone, you wouldn't have seen this yet. Wait till my 23 and 23 video comes out, because if you want to watch Audrey math, that's the video to watch. Although the irony of that being, I used to be real good at math, so I don't know what happened there. But last time I mathed, which did not account for, I want to say like the last 5 books I read in December, my 2023 new release published books accounted for like 55% of what I read in 2023, which is probably also the most new releases I've ever read in a year. So I don't think there's anything bad about doing like a 50-50 split, but part of what worked in 2023 is, or like why I read that many books, is I feel like I had a lot more access to new releases through arcs that I got, whether they were physical or on NetGalley, through Book of the Month books, partnering with them, having access to new releases a little bit earlier, and then just a general toxic trait of shopping all of my feelings, good, bad, or otherwise, which led to me buying a lot of new releases that were coming out. So the fact that a lot of my favorite authors had new books out definitely helped / didn't help the situation, but I read so many new releases and had such a great time with it. So I did an okay job of reading books before publication, but nowhere near as well as I would like to do. So some of the arcs that I get are unsolicited. I also actively ask for specific arcs. I don't always get them, but when I do get a specific arc, I definitely want to be sure to be reading that up to like close to publication, or even if I read it in advance and make sure I'm working to promote it up to like around publication, because that's what I want to do for the authors that I love and for the stories that I love. So very grateful for the partnerships I've had this year with different publishers, with Berkeley, with Celadon, with St. Martin's, with Simon & Schuster, and excited to continue to expand that in the year to come. And then also with Book of the Month, who is just a tremendous partner overall. So that has been great fun. And I also feel like my exposure to new authors has been fantastic. And if you're like, how many new authors did you read this year? I don't know. I'm pulling a stat together. This is what happens when Audrey does stuff off the cuff. I'm trying to get this filmed. I want to get this filmed. So I want to like, as much as I want to celebrate things that went well in 2023, I also want to leave 2023 where it is. So anyway, I will put some visual stats for you guys over here. So bingo was fantastic. So my 23 and 23, you guys will see that video, not my most successful project that I did. So it was fun to do. I did this, I don't even know if it was like my first full year that I was on BookTube. I don't know if I picked a whole bunch of books that I wanted to reread, which I really did not do well at. And then I feel like I did this before, where I made a plan of books that I was going to read, and it also did not really end well. So part of the problem was that I did not actively look at that list / pile of books when I was looking for something new to read. I just was not paying the best of attention to things, which is another problematic theme of mine, is I was definitely flying by the seat of my pants more than usual. And that led to the not reading books, not getting content out, not executing on ideas. But of the books I did read, I'm glad I did. And I'm not dismantling that list of books, but I'm also not just going to shove that into my, because I'm planning to do 12 and 24. I like the concept of pulling together a list, and I'm a mood reader through and through. I'm not trying to change that. I'm not trying to be what I'm not. I know who I am in a lot of ways, and forcing myself to read specific books does not traditionally work for me. I had a very good time with 10 Before the End. I did not read all 10, and then I had a +1 on that. But I do want to prioritize a lot of those books next year because they are books that I actively wanted to read. Honestly, I just ran out of time. So, and they didn't all fit my bingo prompts, which is fine. But anyway, I've got that going. So I like to create these little mini lists and these focused reading plans and then just see where they go. But again, my reading perspective is that it should be fun, it is for pleasure, it is my great escape, and it is absolutely something I do for the joy of it, and I never want it to feel like it's not any of those things. So being a mood reader, sometimes that doesn't always go according to plan because I do have some obligations, but I feel like you guys know what I mean. So anyway, 23 and 23 was not my best success rate, but I had a good time doing it. And then NetGalley also, I did better, but I can still do better. So what I was really trying to do last year, because I am one of many people who will go hog wild on NetGalley and just start asking for a whole bunch of stuff. And like I said, I specifically ask, like sometimes I will email a publisher and like ask for a physical ARC. Sometimes you wind up getting an e-ARC. Sometimes you wind up getting nothing. And then it seems like, then there's like a whole flood of stuff where I'm like, well, I shouldn't have asked for these 10 books because now I've got them all. And what am I going to do like on NetGalley? So I'm trying to selectively request books that I genuinely plan on reading so that my list does not continue to get completely out of control. So we can laugh about that one because I'm definitely new shiny things. I definitely like a new shiny thing. So we'll see what happens there. And then something else I did a really good job of this year was attending more author events. So online events, online activities. So whether it was the back room with Hank Phillippi Ryan and Karen Dion, which has the rotating Sunday night guests of authors, which has been so spectacularly fun. I have done more just generalized, whether it is the Poison Pen doing live events, but if there is a online author event, I feel like the Mighty Blaze does a lot of them. Hank Phillippi Ryan will do thriller ones. I will list everything down below because I don't want to mix up the names of things. I have found just some great free, like Barnes & Noble will do midday mystery things, like great free events that give you fantastic access to authors just to hear them talk about their stories. And I have actively watched them live, which has been just a great way to spend a bit of time in a productive way. And then I did some more National Novel Writing events this year. So they did a lot of live events. They had some pep talks, they had some write-ins. And then by far, I think my biggest success in terms of events is leveraging my Sisters in Crime membership, which I have had. And I actually participated in the write-ins starting with National Novel Writing Month. and they had some events prepping for Nano, kind of a mid-month check-in, like a what do we do after, and then continued to do, they were doing 4 write-ins every day in November, which at first seemed insane. And then as soon as it was December, it was like, oh my God, I miss these so much. And I wasn't doing all 4 of them because it obviously like happens during the workday, but I was writing before work every day with the exception of like Thanksgiving, because it was Thanksgiving and I was out of town, but I was writing, I wrote almost every single day. And even like the day after Thanksgiving, I don't really count it as a writing day, but I think I wrote like 300 words before like my day started. It wasn't like my finest hour, but I definitely like punched out a couple. But anyway, I continued to do the write-ins in December. I plan to continue to do them into January, and to find that writer community, which is one that I don't have, has been just such a gift. And again, to be able to connect with people who do what I do, who are of a same brain, not that we're all writing and doing the same stuff, but to be able to just type a 1-sentence frustration into the chat or a 1-sentence celebration. It's just such a fantastic supportive community. And they have different free events, they have different paid events, so I definitely want to take advantage and just have absolutely loved it. So that has been great. So making sure that I'm using my time wisely and taking advantage of all of these opportunities that are out there is something I want to continue to do for sure. So that's been great. And then what else has been great about this year? My writing. I was like, what else has been great about this year? I got back into my writing. So like I said, I was doing well at the beginning of the year, but I really feel like I hit a great stride with Nano. I'm working on the second draft. I am nearish to the end. This thing is so overwritten. If you guys have been following me, either like here or on Instagram, then you will know that this baby is gonna need a huge edit, which I understand. And part of that is because I definitely had an idea, I don't even know if it was like halfway through, but like during Nano, where I was like, what if I did this? So in chatting with my sisters in crime friends, we talked about like, you're not going to go back and fix stuff now. Like the whole thing, you got to get to the end. And my biggest problem is getting to the end, because I will toil and fix and go back and toil and fix. And I just need to keep pushing forward. So I definitely started to write in new story. So stuff's going to come out of the beginning that's kind of going to no longer apply. I might combine 2 characters, which I'm thinking about. So I'm trying to write it as if the character is still there, but also beef up a second character who, it's tricky because I feel like they're both necessary, but there's definitely, like, I'm trying to work some stuff out as I'm writing through this. So anyway, there is easily 20,000 words that need to come out of this, if not more. But at the beginning, this document was in progress when Nano started. So I write in Scrivener, and I have sections of ideas and lines and some outtakes, and all of those words get counted into your overall word count. So that's not like a totally accurate word count. But anyway, I'm feeling excited about it. I have not been excited about the story in a while. I definitely feel incredibly overwhelmed by it. I am definitely scared of it. And these are all things that definitely start to make me not make it to the end, because I get too much in my head and I'm trying not to. And now that I'm sitting here talking about it, I'm like getting in my own head accidentally. But my goal is to finish it and polish it. And I'm trying to set like a loose, like June 1, like a mid-year break kind of a thing, even though that would be June 30th. But anyway, math. I want to finish this draft and then edit and polish, and not that it's going to be perfect, but like to really tighten up the story and take out stuff. I think I have the draggiest beginning to this book. I think there is way too much happening, and not in the sense where I feel like I can start it later. I've already started it later. I feel like the first couple scenes I have, while not perfect in writing, are where the story needs to begin, but then I think there's some dead weight after that that needs to come out, and then we need to get back to it. Because when I read a book that's dragging, I get annoyed, and I certainly don't want to be a book that drags. And I also, unlike the first book that I wrote, which I actually had an agent ask for, bless her, was 120,000 words. It was a contemporary romance. And one of her notes was like, 120,000 words is like way too many words. Like, you're about 35,000 words over. Not the only problem with that book. That is definitely my under the bed book. And it just was, and also like my most autobiographical, because that's just how things work. And that was before I figured out I should write what I love, which is mysteries, because I also do love romantic contemporary romance. But anyway, I am a notorious overwriter. But the win is that I'm writing, that I'm excited about it, that I built a consistent habit. And as I say this, I have barely written in the past week. It's like the Christmas to New Year's, I was out of town, all the things. And life intervened, unfortunately, but it's fine. Like, everything's fine. It's going to be fine. But I also intentionally wanted to give my brain a break, because I felt like I was getting into a nano mode of cranking out words just to write words, which is the least productive use of my time. So I think a little bit of distance. I'm not giving myself like 10 weeks off or anything crazy. Like, I'm going to get back to it. And I might even get back to it tomorrow. Like, I definitely just wanted to give myself a little bit of a rest. And anyway, I just, to build a consistent habit, to be doing it, to be in it, to be excited about it, were all just huge, huge victories for me. And I'm excited about that too. So I can't say anything bad in terms of how my reading went. Was every book I read a hit? No. Did I read some absolutely fantastic, amazing books? Yes. So stay tuned for my best books of the year. I really struggled to narrow down the list this year, you guys. So you were going to see my favorite audiobooks of the year, which is going to come out. I have definitely already posted some content on Instagram. I know I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. If you're not already following me there, I would love to have you follow me there. One of my goals for the year to come, because I think I did a decent, but not as well as I would like to. And I put a lot of pressure on myself. I have a perfectionism quality, and I am not saying by any stretch that any of the content I put out is perfect, but I struggle a lot with being critical of what I'm trying to do. And I definitely freeze myself, and then I don't do it. So kind of like you can't edit a blank page. It's not everything has to be like completely amazing. I think best foot forward is the best that I can do. But I dabbled in some reels this year, which I had a really good time with. They take me so long to do. And I think part of it is I'm just not savvy enough at this stage. I mean, editing YouTube videos used to take me like a day. So I think, like anything, I just need to do it more and get better about it. And I don't plan ahead, toxic trait. So I'm rushing, and then I abandon ship. And I definitely have ideas, and I don't execute on them, but I have put some together, and I'm having a good time with it. So I would like to do more of that. But I've also already posted my favorite backlist books of this year, which hopefully you would have seen by now, but talked about some backlist books. I'm going to talk about my favorite books that came out in 2023, and then kind of my overall favorite books of the year. And then I also have, I hate the phrase honorable mention, because that feels like I'm tossing shade, but I have a handful of books that I really, really loved. They are not on my top list, but it doesn't mean I didn't love them. I was trying not to do, I don't know if it was like 2 years ago, I think I did 3 or 4 videos of my favorite books. I think I did like 30 or 40 books, which, like, stop it. I just can't. So I definitely am going to have, like, I don't know if it's going to be like 7 to spotlight or like 7 books I'm screaming about, but I have a handful of books and I'm looking at the pile beyond you guys, which is why I'm like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh yeah. I was like, oh, there's 8, but the one on top is for something else. Yeah, because chaos. So that is a thing that's happening. And then something else, which I talked a real good game about in 2023 that I definitely like kind of sort of did, but not really, is revamping my bookshelves. So I did a reorg, I guess a couple months ago. What I was really trying to do was to remove books like from my eyesight that I have read for the most part. I mean, I've read some of these, but not all of these. And I was trying to put books, unread books, at the forefront. And I need to do that better, because as much as I had all my 2023 reads, I thought I had them all basically in one place. Like I had thought they were all in my bedroom. I definitely took a picture of all my books, physical books that I hadn't read this year. And then I trotted over here to film a video, and I realized I've since taken it down. But there was a book here that I read this year. There was a couple of books over here that I read this year, and then I was like, oh my God, they're not in the picture. So that's why you're gonna see like a couple pictures of what I read this year, because there's no way I was pulling every book out again. But I need to reorganize. I need to figure out a system. And I think it might just be, I don't know if it's gonna be wholly alphabetical or bundling authors together. I don't know. I need to figure out something that works. I don't know what I wanna do. And the idea of taking everything down and not having a next step terrifies me. So I've just, like with everything, just let it be. But I need to get some organization here, get a grasp on it, and then also unhaul books, like have a real conversation with myself about books that I own, especially books that I've owned for years and years and years, and whether or not I'm going to read them, because I can get them from the library. I can always repurchase them. I talked about it in my last book haul, how I'm afraid to unhaul anything, because I just picked up the new Curtis Sittenfeld book, came out in 2023, romantic comedy. And of course I was like, oh, I read Prep when that came out. And now I'm like, I want to reread Prep. And I unhauled it whenever ago. And now I'm kicking myself because now I want to read it. So I've made some unhaul regrets in my life, including a pair of jeans that in hindsight now, I mean, they're low rise, so I don't know if I would want to wear them, but they were fantastic at the time, but I lived in them. They're from Lucky. They don't make them anymore. And I unhauled them because I'm an idiot. And I could have still worn them. I don't know. I would still wear them. I definitely just purchased like 90s jeans. The older I get, the more I regress to how I used to dress. It's true. And it's fine. It's absolutely fine. And not that I'm like trying to look younger, but like the style of it, I was like, oh, I'm so grateful to have lived through the 90s when I did, because I love 90s fashion. I still do, and I still think it's good. Not every piece of it, but a lot of it. But anyway, I have unhaul regrets, and I'm trying not to have regrets. So I definitely did not really have a serious look-see at my shelf, but I'm going to try and work on that, get some more books on Pango, put some more books in my free little library, and just clear out and make space to breathe. Not just because I want to buy more books. You will be seeing a 2024 most anticipated / pre-orders video coming your way. Is it a toxic trait if you're like aware of it and, I don't know, proud of it? I love my book collection. I really do. So anyway, something else to work on. But 2023 was a grand year. And thank you guys for being a part of it with me. And thank you for making this year everything that it was, for being by my side. Like I said, whether or not you realized it, you guys definitely got me through some dark days, some challenging days, just seeing your kind words, again, just your responses to things, comments, suggestions of books to read, questions, like something that gave me a distraction. is hugely meaningful, and I'm so super grateful for you guys, and I'm just thankful. So before we go, let's take a look at the year that was. And again, this is all thanks to you guys. So that's going to do it for 2023. Favorite book stuff is still coming out, but it's all eyes on the prize and the road ahead of 2024. So thank you guys again for being here. Thanks for supporting me. Let me know a big win from 2023, a favorite part of the year, a favorite book, a favorite whatever, just something that you learned, something that you're proud of in the year that was. And I will see all of you guys in 2024. Look at me, I got the year right. Okay, take care everybody. Bye.